Perfect. Okay, good evening, everyone. We're here for the regular council meeting of January 21st. And we'll do quick introductions and then I will get right into it. This evening we have no public hearings. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. CEO, so I will not explain the public hearing process. So quick introductions. We have with us all online our CEO, Mitch DeVal.
Evening.
Our Councillor, Jason Bondarchuk.
Good evening.
Councillor Shane Pelletier.
Hello.
Councillor Jeanine Boulanger.
Good evening.
Councillor Joel Lemoine.
Bonsoir tout le monde.
And I think that's everyone from the council group. Without further ado, I will go into it. Item number 1, meeting called to order. Do I have a mover? Councillor Lemoine, second. Councillor Pelletier. Comments before we open the meeting? Seeing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor, raise your hand. Opposed, none. That is carried. Thank you. Meeting open at 7:02 p.m. Item number 2, adoption of the agenda. Do I have a mover? Councillor Bondarchuk, second. Councillor Boulanger. Council's good with the agenda as is. Okay, no changes. I'll call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed, none. That is carried. Thank you. Item number 3, adoption of the minutes. Do I have a mover? Councillor Pelletier, second. Councillor Lemoine. Go ahead, Mr. CEO.
Basically, last council meeting was held January 7th. There were a couple bylaws that got third reading. Nothing else to report. Just a public service announcement there. The meeting at the RM office is closed. We are holding it virtually due to inclement weather.
Perfect. Thank you. Council, open up for discussion, debate, anything to edit, change, comment on, question?
None here.
Seeing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed, none. That is carried. Item number 4, committee reports and minutes. Do I have a mover? Councillor Boulanger, second. Councillor Pelletier.
Basically, reports from Councillor Bondarchuk regarding the library and Councillor Boulanger regarding the Grand Point Home Owners Association, as well as the Red River Basin.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Open up for council discussion, comments.
Nice numbers at our libraries. I like that. Yeah, there's been a good uptake in people using it. It's nice to see.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, I will call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed, none. That is carried. Thank you. Item 5.1, accounts paid to be approved. Do I have a mover? Councillor Bondarchuk, second. Councillor Lemoine.
As you will see, council has 2024 invoices as well as 2025. As a result of our current situation with our servers, our CFO is able to provide a very good report still regarding the finances and how each payee is broken down and paid for. So basically, just as a summary of all the batches that you see there, the big ticket items were basically Revenue Canada, the Municipal Employees Benefit Board, the Receiver General. There was a check in there for TC Energy for their 4th quarter ending the year. Also, there was the school tax basically being the final payment remitted to the province and to the local school divisions. A big item for 110,000 was the pay to Manitoba Hydro regarding the Randolph well site that our public works manager is undertaking, as well as the land purchase through our legal for the St. Adolphe land purchase. And that's about it.
Perfect. Thank you, Mr. CEO. Council, I'll open up for any comments or questions.
None here.
None here.
Nothing. It's been reviewed. I'll call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed, none. That is carried. Thank you. 5.2, payroll to be approved. Do I have a mover? Councillor Pelletier, second. Councillor Boulanger.
Nothing to report on this matter.
Perfect. Council, open up for debate. Anything? Seeing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed, none. That is carried. Okay, maintenant, mes amis de CEDEM, c'est votre temps. It's your time. We will welcome Madeline and company if you want to give us a quick introduction, and then the floor is yours. I'm very strict on my 10 minutes. So good luck. But if you have any, oh, we got a quick bit of an echo. Am I wrong?
Is something okay now? Are you
Check.
still getting an echo?
Yeah, I'm getting only when I talk, I think, though. So maybe I'll keep my mouth shut as long as possible, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Go ahead, Madeleine. I got no voice from you.
Okay, no voice.
Okay, now I do. Go ahead.
You have my voice now? Thank you very much. We'll be quick. It's apparent when we watched you manage the whole thing, the team there, you are quite efficient and quick. So I'm going to keep it to the key points. Okay, so we are here today. Jojo, présente-toi.
Je me présente Jojo et je suis un project officer of this project, Strengthening the Labor Market avec Madeleine.
Okay, and I have Marie-Cécile.
Marie-Cécile Alvarez, Community Economic Development Director at CEDEM.
And Madeleine Arbe, the Executive Director of CEDEM, also the interim municipality liaison while we replace Clémence Seja. So today, we're here to talk to you about the labor market project, which is the continuation of the French immigration strategy that was developed for our bilingual municipalities, members of INBM. We are going to review with you a short presentation of the findings related to the CHUT, and in particular, some of the strengths and of your municipality and opportunities that are being developed. You are actually our second presentation, and in fact, you have the second phase of the research going on tomorrow with the the diversity workshop that will take place during your Business Expo days. So today we are here to share to you the information relating to what your fairly robust group of employers shared in terms of findings, what the opportunities are, and how we are in fact linking the needs of your employers to our programs at CEDEM and how we can better help them at no cost because you are a member of INBM and this is what we do. We help businesses, small, medium, and all others. So today we are giving you the report for phase 1, which was the research and the connection, the jobs. Phase 2 is strengthening the employers. Tomorrow is the start, but it also includes many other tools and resources that we've developed. So I will leave it with Jojo. We'll review the summary findings. Jojo?
Yep, thank you so much. So this is a quick overview of the main stage of the project since the launching on May 2023. We started with great research with the group INBM, focusing in the labor market in Winnipeg and all municipalities. And then we ran a survey in each municipality has reached out to collect all the business needs in terms of labor market of the employers, of your employers. After we do the report, and which the report is sent and presented in a currency, and after that we will start the workshop tomorrow for Richard. And after all the survey and workshop, our target is to build a strong relationship between the employers of Richard and the experts from CEDEM to help them develop their business. This is a quick overview of the results in all municipalities. So for this research, we contact more than 1,000 employers, more than 276 answer participate to the survey. With a response rate of 23%. Employers intend to hire more than 150, and most of them, 172, wants to benefit the service from CEDEM, and also most of the employers, more than 150, say that they are interested in our workshop we plan to do. This is the results for Richard. For Richard, we have contact with many employees. We had a great database of employers, 241, and 241, 28 of them participate to the survey. We noticed that they have more than 20, all the companies that who participate have more than 20 years of activity. So they are very strong and they are very stable employers. And most of them has between 2 and 10 employees. So they are small businesses. And then they are most of the majority is private. In terms of industries, agriculture is very important in the municipality, and construction and other services as well, like the personal services, proximity services, like the guy who ran his garage or the salon hair. In terms of challenge, the employers share that they have, in terms of a figure, we have 40% of the employers who face that employees retention. So they have a little bit struggling to retain their employers in the company. And they have also some problem or some challenges to find qualified candidates. And it is 50% of them. And in terms of recruitment challenges, they have lack of housing. They mention lack of housing, the transportation, and the lack of training for the employers or for the employees in the municipality. And their priorities are they really want to hire in local, so they prefer hiring in local in the municipality. And then they also recognize that 40% of them recognize that diversity, bilingualism, French is very important in their process. And 40% recognize as well that bilingualism is very important. In terms of recruitment, most of them, 40% of 54% of them plan to share their offers in the future. 4% at the moment of the survey had already their offers available that they start sharing with us to help them finding qualified candidate. And they are as well interested, 7% are interested in hiring international hiring. They have a great interest in the services from for SEDEM, like 25% are interested in the support of business, and 32% are really interested in all employability services, which is how to help them to hire qualified people, how to help them to hire people international or in Canada. And they are also happy to join us during our workshop. And after the study, we can notice 3 points here. They are the recommendation, the top 3 recommendation, but we can also have more recommendation in the report. But this top 3 is it is necessary to raise awareness of the importance of the diversity, bilingualism, French in the process of your employees recruitment, because they can be shown as a very powerful tool to develop their business. The second point is they need to be trained. So that's why we want to start with our workshop to try to raise awareness of how people can be trained, how they can be aware of all the subjects that can help us to develop their businesses. And the third one is to improve all the access related to the housing, the transportation, in which the municipality is already working on. And the next step of after the study, the next step, as we said at the beginning, it is the workshops. So for Richard, we have our first workshop. Richard will be the first workshop of the project. So it's going to be tomorrow in the Business Expo. It will be led by Nina Kondo, a very known expert in diversity and inclusion in Manitoba, and the specialist of SEDEM. We invite all the base of your employers to come and discuss and do a workshop on diversity, how diversity can help them to improve their companies. And here, this is how we plan the future. We see the future with your employers at the center in our activity. So we'll create a database of your employers, we'll follow them and focus on their needs and try to meet their employability and business needs. And then do also a lot of do also a lot of exchange with the municipality to update the base so that we can build together with you and your municipalities and the experts from SEDEM a really important and sustainable relationship between us, and then try to find and meet the needs of these employers.
So I think maybe just to add to Jojo's presentation, the important thing to retain from this, though it does validate a lot of things you already know, the point taken is that you have one of the largest lists of employers that are established. So you are in a great position. There are many of these who have said they are looking for services and help to help them succeed better. SEDEM has invested in a CRM database to manage all this information. We are working, that is, Jojo is working with Joelle and with immigration and recruitment to in fact ensure that we communicate with all these interested employers and all new ones coming in, and that we support them in their local hiring, their prioritizing diversity, and also the bilingualism. We help them on recruitment. We look at helping them learn what tools we have and what can help them succeed so that you continue to have those successes with each other. This is really an important step for SEDEM because this gives us one of the most enviable list and program which can help employers. We can help them as businesses, we can help them as employers, we can help them with tools, and we can connect them with other services. And this is also part of the discussion I am having with Ryan and Joelle in terms of the incubation and acceleration program, which is the continuation, the continuum that SEDEM wishes to pursue so that we are there for all businesses from the beginning throughout their maturity, so to help them succeed in your municipalities. Yep. Merci. Merci.
Yeah, so quickly, I'm pretty sure Joelle talked a lot about SEDEM and all the services, but just quickly, I wanted to make sure we present to you all the different services we have with the community economic development. So we have the free selfie services, selfies for cellule de financement. So it's more around find for you some grant or funding opportunities, and we can support you. I know you have the staff to do that, but just in case, we can help you with the strategic planning. If you have some organization or outside, if they need some help with that, we have a community project grant program. So it's a small amount, but it could help at the beginning of a project. We have the funding program that are focused on Francophone project. So they finish in January 31st. And I know Ryan will submit a project related to the incubation. Mm-hmm. And we participate as well. So it's more my colleague, Sofiane, who is participating at the CDC and CDI of St. Agathe. And right now, the really big thing, we collect all the priority projects so we can address to AMBM group, which include SEDEM, EcoWest, and AMBM. So we have big pictures about your needs. So that's all quickly, all the services for just the community economic development. After that, we have a lot of different ones. Thank you.
Merci, Marie-Cécile.
Yeah.
One last thing that's also going on that's driving all of this is we just completed our strategic plan, our 3-year strategic plan draft, which we'll be releasing shortly. And it will be going, I'm doing an update to the AMBM board next week. But the strategic plan is really framing and putting the 4 priorities in front of us to help us continue to focus even more. So this study gives us the data to guide whether it's what we recruit, the tools we have, but it really plugs us right into the needs of the municipalities. So it's an opportunity. And that incubation acceleration program is also another one that is very important, and you're doing a lot on that level. So we're looking at a partnership there, but there's many opportunities where we can support the employers with their needs. So tomorrow night is the first one of the research, the labor market research webinars, or I'm sorry, workshops. And there's also wine and cheese going on. So that's the first one to start having sort of the session with the consultant to talk about this and to get them going. We'll also be there because we are supporting the expo as we did last year. And we want to network the heck out of it. We want to get people to know how we can help them and get that connection going so that the tools will be there and we will be seeing results, that the employers will see results that will help them there. How was that for time?
You're a little off, but you know what? You guys do so much for Richot, and we can't thank you enough for your support. So I'm going to let it slide this time, Madeline, but next time, chop, chop. No, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I'm going to open up if council has any questions before we let you guys get offline. Council, do you have anything to add?
No. Okay.
No.
If I add just the acceleration incubation program, you'll be hearing more from us. That's
Awesome.
something.
Good. That's I look forward to that too. I think it's going to be a great thing for Richot and the whole region. So I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow night for some cheese and definitely some wine. Merci beaucoup.
Merci, madame.
Okay, moving on to item 7.1.1, Association des municipalités bilingues du Manitoba, AMBM contribution. Do I have a mover? Councillor Bondarchuk, second. Councillor Pelletier, thank you.
For council's information, this is a routine yearly resolution whereby l'AMBM will be contributing $7,500 to the arm of Richot to help support the bilingualism program and the delivery of French services.
Perfect. Thank you, council. Any comments, debate, discussion on this? No.
Not here.
Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? None. That's carried. Pardon me. 7.1.2 special event application, WSCC Fire on Ice and Auto Ice Racing and Ice Drifting Competition. Do I have a mover? Councillor Pelletier, second. Councillor Belanger.
All right. This is a special events permit that was reviewed by our recreation director, Shane Ray. He's online, so if he wants to come in and explain more to council as to what the event is all about and any questions you may have regarding the event. Shane, I will turn it over to you if you're there.
I am.
Go ahead.
I think everybody's aware of the event. It was discussed in December as well. The individuals have completed the application process, submitted the certificate of insurance and event site plan to us. We have verbal confirmation from the province that they will allow the organization to use the retention pond. We're still waiting. I'd hope to have it in writing by now, but we are still waiting at this point in time for it to come in writing. However, we do expect it in the very near future. there has been some discussion in the past. I've submitted both a copy of their application and all the information, reviewed the information with our emergency services department at this point, and they have no concerns. They have not been contracted to provide any additional services for the event as well. So looking for either approval for the event to go forward, with conditions. I've outlined potentially 3 conditions that council may want to consider, and or declining to allow the event to be hosted. It is scheduled for the first weekend in February. We'll line up with the St. Adolphe Winter Carnival as well. The major concern that I've identified is originally the group saw it as a jointly hosted event, and we would hold liability for the spectator and surrounding area, while they would hold any liability for the security area and the track. As this is not a jointly hosted event, I've indicated my concern about that we wouldn't accept liability for that surrounding area, the spectator area, at this point in time, unless it was decided that we were going to jointly host it, in which case then we would have to obviously plan accordingly and with regards to spectator safety and items such as that. So are there any questions for me at this point in time, or any questions about the application that I can answer?
I'll open up for council. Council, do you have any comments before we go ahead with making a motion on this?
Janine?
Go ahead, Councillor Belanger, sorry.
Yes, Shane, I'm just curious as to communication. So the awareness to the community, exposing it so people aren't blindsided, and if they know about it. It says there's no staff, RM staff involvement. Will that be up to the business that's running this, or the event that's running this, and or how will that play out?
So yeah, in regards to the community, the event has already been publicized and promoted within the community, online, etc. They did so obviously without prior seeking approval from us first. We, unfortunately, due to the timing and the late notice, we haven't been able to necessarily put it out to the community to seek input and feedback as to whether or not it's an event that the community wants to see held. Given that it's during the day at 12 to 4, noise is a little bit less of a concern than perhaps it normally would be. And in terms of accessing the site, if it was, say, to be accessed from around the arena or something like that, there would obviously be some traffic issues. Because it is being accessed from the south side of town, I had less concerns about traffic. So no, we haven't had the opportunity to consult with the community and get feedback at this point in time. Unfortunately, just due to the timing, when they submitted the application, when we received enough information to decide whether or not to bring it forward, it's left us a little bit behind in terms of that. So in terms of RM involvement, that is one of the conditions, whether or not we wanted to. They've requested some support in terms of cleaning the ice and things like that. If council chooses to provide that, then I know Public Works is willing to provide both the equipment and the manpower to help with cleaning of the ice surface. If we decide not to go forward with providing any kind of support for the event, then it would be the group's obligation to find somebody to do that on their own. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councillor-
Yeah, I was just worried. I was just wondering if there's immediate neighbors and people, just as long as they have a heads up that this is happening. But
yeah, and that is one of the conditions that we could also apply to the event, is identifying the houses in Turn Creek that maybe sort of are closest to it. I feel there is a bit of a buffer there that again, noise might not be as big of a concern. And again, because it is happening between sort of that 12 to 4 time frame, it's not happening at 10 o'clock at night or something like that. Still a concern though, potentially.
Okay, Councillor Lemoine, you had comments?
No, it had to do with immediate neighbors and time. So Mr. Ray has answered those questions. Thanks.
Okay, I'll thank you, Shane. I appreciate that. I'll open it up for council comments, debates. Council, what are your thoughts on this? Councillor Bodnar, go ahead.
I don't have a huge concern with it. I think I've made my point to Shane that I was a little bit more upset about how this came out. That really, it was kind of advertised before we even knew about it. But there has been conversations about that already, and I think, you know, it was an error and it was a mistake, and people have discovered what the issue was, and it's been resolved. And for that aspect, the noise part, I'm not super concerned. Personally, like, I know, you know, obviously I'm a resident in St. Adolphe, but I'm on the north side, so I'm further away from it. However, I have gone to that area numerous times in the summer, and it is kind of like almost like a bowl. It does have kind of a, well, I mean, there's a dike on one side, so it should help with noise, baffling and distributing the noise pollution. Another thing is, like, this event did happen out here. Shane might be able to correct me. I know he can't really answer now, but I believe it was almost 60 years ago this used to happen out here as well. Mitch might remember. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Oh.
So it is kind of nice to bring some things back that used to happen out here. I mean, I don't see an issue with trying it this year. If we get lots of negative feedback from the community, then it's something that we can maybe ask going forward in the next year, or find ways to improve it better so it doesn't. But I think just communicating with people that this event, if it goes through, that it's happening in exactly what area, what time, I think will also help alleviate some concerns that residents may have about this.
Thank you. Anything else from council?
I think it'd be a fun event to go to. I'm hoping I'm free that weekend.
Okay, how do we like the conditions? My comments on this is I always dislike when something's advertised and we have not reviewed it first. So I would be very comfortable with the conditions that were provided for under the document you guys received. Conditions item number 2. No RM of Rich Hot equipment to be used, no RM staff involvement, and this is not jointly held. So I like those conditions, and maybe going forward, we can communicate with this group that if they give us the appropriate notice, then we would definitely be able to contribute. But this year, it's almost a, you know, you didn't give us a notice, so unfortunately, we can't provide these services. That would be my thing. I just don't like that it was advertised without us knowing.
Just to note too, I mean, it is the same weekend potentially as a winter carnival, so it's already a big event in the community. So it's kind of one more thing for the community to get out, and I know my kids are going to like seeing some cars racing around and on the ice and seeing what it is. So I think it's neat, but I do agree with what you say, Mr. Mayor, about the way it was brought out, and I agree with what you said about the conditions.
How's council feel about that? The rest of council, sorry.
I'm good. I think Mr. CAO had a comment.
Go ahead, Mr. CEO.
Basically, that's exactly what Councillor Bodnarchuk was going into, the 3 conditions, or Mayor Ewan as well, that we don't provide equipment, that we don't provide the staff and labor power to do it, and that we're not jointly together on this at this point in time.
Yeah, exactly. So then question?
Just question for the Mr. CAO. If a member of the RM who is employed by the RM wants to volunteer their time, what is the rules on that?
No rules.
Okay.
I have one more question, and this may have already been brought up and discussed. I can't remember, but who owns this land?
It is the province of Manitoba. It has to do with the pump station outfall for the drainage area inside of Huron Creek, but the land is owned by the province of Manitoba, HM 8, I guess now.
So they probably would have had to get permission from them.
Correct. They have verbal permission.
Oh, that's what you're saying, Mr. Yeah.
But
okay.
we should try to get that in writing as best as we can.
I'm just getting the point that why did it have to come to us for permission? I think it's a courtesy, but if it's not our land, not our, that's all.
Fair enough, but I think
it's still an event going on, and it's to be vetoed by council.
Yeah, no, I guess I'm just saying, you know, I can see where they might not have thought of that because it's not really RM land, and if they did go, those are just my thoughts.
Well, they were thinking that it was RM land until we told them that it wasn't, right? So
okay, then that makes it worse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to make the motion that we approve this event with the recommendations of conditions as previously discussed. Mr. CEO, you'll eloquently draft something appropriate.
It has been drafted. We just will delete if not applicable portions.
Perfect.
Do
Okay.
we need to add that written consent from provinces been achieved? I know there's been verbal, but that there's written confirmation from the province maybe might be a good condition to throw on there.
It's in there on item 4.
Oh, did I miss it?
There's no item 4.
And whereas
Oh,
the second whereas, that would be,
Yeah, verbal confirmation to be received.
Okay, with the written confirmation addition, friendly amendment, council's good with that. I'll add that motion. Do I have a mover? Councillor Pelletier moves that, second by Councillor Belanger. I'll debate that quickly. Any other further comment on that? Okay, with that comment, thank you. Director Ray. No other comments. I'll call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? None. That is carried. Thank you. Okay. We are at adjournment. Do I have a mover? Councillor Lemoine, second. Councillor Pelletier, final thoughts for the night. Seeing none, just a reminder that we do have our great business expo coming up tomorrow night. Is the Mixer, a great time for any resident business owner, future business owner, and entrepreneur from the region to get together. Tickets can be bought at the door for $15. Come and meet businesses of Richard and area. And then the next day after is a full day of workshops and seminars. I cannot promote this enough. We've got great, strong speakers. We've got great participants, great sponsors, and I think you guys will be in for a real treat if you attend. So please feel free to search Richard Edge Business Expo or contact us and we can get you there. Without further ado, sorry, I will call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? None. That is carried. I'll close the meeting at 7:38 p.m. Have a great night, everyone.